there's a reason why you click on this video, and there's a reason for why you're feeling this way. So ask yourself, why is it that you feel guilty? Is it because you genuinely are worthy of blame? Or is it because of the high standards that you set for yourself create this illusion? These are the questions that I used to ask myself at the very start of my business journey. Back in 2015, my maternity concierge business was just taking off, and I had 2 young children, a toddler and a baby to care for while I was drowning in work. And it felt like I was always facing the choice of family versus business. And whatever option that I pick, there would be a huge sacrifice made, which I might regret later. When I decide to spend the evening working instead of spending it with my children, I'll feel guilty for not being there for them. And when I decide to spend the evening with my children, I can't stop thinking about work and how far behind I'm on everything. And truthfully, even when I'm with the kids, I wasn't present for them. I'm either answering texts on my phone or trying to capture everything for content. And when the kids didn't behave as I liked them to, I resent them. I was impatient because there's somewhere else that I'd rather be, which is catching up on business, which was supposed to be for them. And I get caught in this cycle of guilt, vowing to do better next time. And as we know, this vicious cycle continues, and it's hard. And if there's one thing I've learned about juggling motherhood and entrepreneurship, is that the guilt never leaves you. You can manage it better, yes, which is what I'll be talking about in this video, but I'll be straight up and honest with you. The guilt is always there, and it rises to the surface every now and then. Entrepreneurship is chaos. Motherhood can be chaos. And I've learned that if you want to be successful at both, you just have to accept that sometimes there will be days where all you do is work. But don't forget that these are the same days that will unlock times where you can be 100% present with your children. So what I want you to do is change your relationship with guilt. Instead of viewing your overtime work as a neglect of your kids, start seeing it as an investment into your family. Tell your kids to be proud of their mommy for being so hardworking. Embrace the fact that you're at least working on something deeply meaningful. You lead by example and hope this rubs off on your children so that they too grow up like mommy, a hardworking entrepreneur who is pursuing work that is meaningful to her. Of course, that's just the mental side of overcoming guilt and self-blame. But there's also a practical side to resolving this. Overcoming self-guilt becomes drastically easier when you build a business that doesn't consume the life out of you. So don't neglect the importance of always thinking about how you can build a business that works for you instead of the other way around. Build systems, hire, build assets. All of this will ultimately break the chain that you're constrained by so that you're freer to spend your time how you like to. This YouTube video you're watching right now, for example, this is an asset that is working for me right now. And I'm doing other stuff at the very moment you're watching this now, right? Maybe you are watching this while I'm spending time with my children. Maybe I'm working on other stuff in my business. Maybe I'm even sleeping right now. But yet you are watching this video, which is essentially working for me in the background, whilst that I am free to be getting on with other things, right? So this is exactly what I mean by building assets for your business. So build these for yourself. Now, which ones that's going to be based on the type of business you're running, right? Same goes for systems and the same goes for hiring. And I had to learn this way back in 2015 when I was 3 years into running and scaling my very first proper online business, which was my maternity concierge business. I found myself working practically all the time. And I was too afraid to hire and delegate and thinking that no one can do this better than me. Or I thought that I could save this much by doing it all by myself. But then I had no choice but to do it, right? I caught dengue and ended up in the hospital. During my visit to the hospital, I found out that I was pregnant with my third child, and that's Will. And as you know, with dengue and being pregnant, I was bedridden for almost 2 months. And it took me another 4 months to fully recover. So my time and energy was very limited, and I needed to somehow structure my business in a way that allowed me to keep it running within that little time and energy that I had. And on hindsight, this was one of the best experiences I've ever been taught, and the results amazed me. Despite the lack of time, despite the lack of energy to do anything that year, I found out that my revenue at the end of the year was triple the year before, where I was working all the time. It's weird, right? So what actually happened? I started creating automated funnels. I made my first proper hire. I built assets in my business. And in the pressure for time, I also cut out a lot of tasks that I shouldn't even be doing in the first place, like replying to my emails or doing all my content and just fixing little things on my website, because those things, they don't move the needle. So this whole experience allowed me to come out of this ill-ridden 6 months period with actually so much extra time unlocked. And the benefit of this have stayed with me ever since, and are still what allow me to sustainably integrate my business into motherhood without any shame or guilt associated with doing so. So what I'm trying to say is that yes, there's a mental battle that you have to overcome. But I'll also be pragmatic with you and say how it is. Chances are that you feel guilty because you don't spend enough time with your family. You don't spend enough time with your family because you spend too much time on your business, and you spend too much time on your business because you have a business which currently designed to suck the life and time out of you. Hence, the best place to start is to treat the issue as its root once and forever by building your business strategically with systems, assets, and automations. But I won't go into details of how to do this right now because that's not the topic of the video. However, would you be interested in knowing how to build a business that works for you? Then you can join the waitlist for the webinar that I'll be hosting soon in the link below. Anyways, once again, I just want to assure you that it's okay to feel that mompreneur's guilt. If anything, you feeling this says more good about you than bad. As a mompreneur, you simply have to manage this feeling and build a business that minimizes the chances of its recurrence. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, then hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one.